And then you go to Fulan and you say to Fulan, Fulan comes to you and say, I'll give you 110. وَلَا يَبِعْ بَعْضُكُمْ عَلَى بَيْءِ بَعْضٍ. None of you should sell on the sale of your brother. So I have an auction and I have this thing for sale. And I say to you, start and bid 50 quid. And I have my bro planted inside there. So every time this honest brother here says 51 quid, my man behind there who's working with me says 52. So my man really wants this thing. He goes 53. My man behind there goes 54. Inflating the price. And some people, you don't even have to go to auctions. They inflate the price themselves. They said, you know what? I'm selling this for 50. Brother Fulan is giving me 50. Which is a lie. No one is giving him anything. He increased the price himself. Wallahi, this hadith is full. Wallahi, you need volumes of book. There are hundreds of pages are written on each point that we are mentioning today. وَلَا تَحَاسَدُوا. Do not envy. وَلَا تَنَاجَشُوا. Do not inflate the prices. وَلَا تَبَاغَضُوا. Do not hate one another. وَلَا تَدَابَرُوا. Do not shun one another. وَلَا يَبِعْ وَلَا تَدَابَرُوا. Do not turn your backs on people. وَلَا يَبِي بَعْضُكُمْ عَلَى بَيْءِ بَعْضٍ. None of you should do a sale over a sale of your brother. وَكُونُوا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ إِخْوَانًا. Be ye supporters and servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Muslimu akhul Muslim. A Muslim to another Muslim is like a brother. لَا يَظْلِمُهُ. He doesn't oppress him. وَلَا يَخْذُلُهُ. He doesn't shame him. وَلَا يَكْذِبُهُ. He doesn't blame him and tell him you're a liar. وَلَا يَحْقِرُهُ. And he does not belittle him. التَّقْوَى هَا هُنَا. Pointed to his chest 3 times, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَيُشِيرُ إِلَىٰ بِحَسْبِ امْرِئٍ مُسْلِمٍ بِحَسْبِ امْرِئٍ مِنَ الشَّرِّ بِحَسْبِ امْرِئٍ مِنَ الشَّرِّ أَنْ يَحْقِرَ أَخَاهُ الْمُسْلِمِ. It is enough a contempt to hold your brother, subhanallah. كُلُّ الْمُسْلِمِ عَلَى الْمُسْلِمِ حَرَامٍ. Every Muslim to another Muslim is haram. دَمُهُ وَمَالُهُ وَعِرْضُهُ. Every Muslim to another Muslim is sacred. Every Muslim to another Muslim. Wallahi, each and every one of you looking at me here today, in the eyes of Rabbul Alameen, I could say maybe in my eyes you mean nothing to me because you don't feed me. Maybe I can say I love you. Fine. But in the eyes of Rabbul Alameen, you are sacred. You have a special status in the sight of Rabbul Alameen when it regards to me and you. Kullul Muslim. Not some Muslims. Not the Muslims with beards. Not the Muslims who pray 5 times a day. Kullul Muslim. Every Muslim. His blood, his honor, and his property remains sacred until Rabbul Alameen removes it. We are not allowed to remove that sanctity unless you become a prophet. Wal-'iyadhu billah. The Muslims in the old, subhanallah, Herakl, do you know who is Herakl? A mighty king. This mighty king says to his servants, not to his servants, his general, his commanders. He says, tell me about those people who are winning the battles. Tell me something about these people who are winning you lot. Aren't you more in numbers? His commander says, of course we are more in numbers. We outdo them in every place. Fi kulli mawtin. This kalam is by Ibn Kathir in Bidayah wa Nihaya. Aren't you outnumbering these Muslims, these people who say they're Muslims? His commander says, of course we outnumber them. He says, so how come they win you? This commander says, they are amazing. They are amazing bunch of people. They are top lads. What you mean top lads? Yasumun al-nahar. They fast in the days. Wayaqumun al-layl. And they stand in prayers. Wayufuna bil-ahdi. And when they make a promise, they fulfill it. وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And they command good. وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. And they prevent the evil. And as for we, وَمِنْ أَجْلِ أَنَّنَا نَشْرَبُ الْخَمَرِ. We drink wine and spirits, alcohol. وَنَزْنِي. We commit fornication and adultery. We break our promises. We create fitna and corruption in the lands. Herakl says to this man, after mentioning 8 beautiful statements, he says, Sadaqta. O commander, you have spoken well. Ahsant, you have spoken well. What you said is real. This is good. The Muslims used to stay upon goodness. The Muslims never used to do what? Hatred, malice, envy, backbite, slander, eating flesh, breaking up the ranks, kick your parents, beat the imam, beat them with words, crack the skull, shove them in the chest. They were Muslims. They were men. And the great leaders of those days acknowledge we need to get back to the Quran, rectify our lives, wallah. Rectification is must. أقول ما تسمعون واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب وخطيئة فاستغفروه إنه هو التواب الرحيم.